of the interesting facts about the area here that I don't think a lot of people even think too much about. But because of the way the Huron River flows, it flows eventually from here all the way down through the Detroit River, down to Lake Erie, and of course, once you get on the Great Lakes, the same water that you're on here, you could actually get around the world. Get through the canals down through Mississippi, large fish right there, kids, and or you can go through upper state New York and get to the inland waterway and go all the way around from there. So this water really does connect around the world.
Do you find that people in the Livingston County region take the chain of lakes and the lakes and the rivers in the southern part of the county for granted? They don't realize what they got?
It's not that for granted, because that would mean that they have knowledge of it. Most people just don't know what we have out here. This is such an asset. Here in the water. Here in the water. We're just leaving the Huron River, just south of M36 by the railroad crossings, and we're entering now into the first of the major lakes. This is Strawberry Lake. Some of the history of this area is the point directly across from us here, Burton's Point, was part of the Huron Indians that lived out in this area. Used this as a meeting place, and the people that live up on the bluffs there still to this day are finding a lot of Indian artifacts, arrowheads, and things. Now, because of time, guys, we're going to speed up and get across this lake to get to our next lake, the water. Now, one of the things that Zuki Lake has is a very soft, mucky style of bottom to it, kind of like a soft clay, but it also has a lot of natural springs. And so in the bottom of this lake, there seems to be a water coming up all the time. One of the most favorite things I talk about out here with Zuki Lake is that the quality of ice that it produces in the winter. Obviously, before there was refrigerators, people got their ice from the ice carriage. Well, Zuki Lake's ice was well known for its clarity, and because it didn't have bubbles and air in it, the ice was harder, thicker, and would stay colder for a longer period of time. The ice house was located right over here where the large building is behind you that is now the carpet factory. Let me show you a quick picture of them actually on Zuki Lake, of the men that used to come in by train and work at the ice house and work on Zuki Lake during the winter. They would bring them in from Chicago, Cleveland, and Detroit to work every year over here, and they would stay in the dormitories. Again, these houses have changed over the years, but you can still see a couple of them that are the base old dorms that haven't been rebuilt yet. Now, one of the things that made this area also very popular was the fact that we had two separate railroads crossing right here. And those two railroads, when they cross right here, it's kind of like being at the corner of 94 and I-75, major intersections. For the train, same type of thing. You can go east to west, north to south, and we'd bring people out from the Detroit area and from out Toledo and things out to this area, and they would get on the boats that you could see there, or they'd stay at some of the hotels, and they were brought out here because they're of the lakes and the water to get people out here and do more business. It became very popular for them to come in, get out at the old Lakeland Railroad Station, and as you can see there in some of the pictures, load on the boats, and then go out from there and go down to, again, the pavilion that was on Baseline that had people like Benny Goodman and some of the big bands were playing down there, or they could actually go down a little farther onto Portage Lake to where they had a very large amusement park with big slides and water activities. People came out there a lot just to enjoy the day. And they were talking to people that came out in suits and ties and women with large hats and just came out in this area and had a good time. There's a great day right there. Family out fishing. How can you beat that? I mean, on vacation out here on Strawberry and Zuki Lake. Just enjoying the day. Those kids will have that memory forever. These particular cottages along here, as you know, well, I don't know if you can tell, but there's no driveways. These people park down at the far end and walk in from here. coming through here. This is the Huron River now. This is where it opens up into Gallagher Lake. Again, still the islands to our left, but this is the next lake along the Huron River. This is Gallagher coming into Charlotte. Just to show you a little other piece of Gallagher, we're leaving what used to be Big Gallagher. We're going around to the back side of what, of course, used to be called Little Gallagher, and now has been renamed Long Lake. All right, at this point, we're still on the Huron River. We've come down from Gallagher through Whitewood. Now we're coming through this area. We're now entering Baseline. Baseline is known, anybody that's got any property, that they know that their land revolves around the thing on their property deed called the Baseline, which is 8 miles. 8 Mile, this is 8 Mile Lake, named for the same thing as 8 Mile Road. And it's also one of the lakes that had the dance hall on it, the major dance hall that people used to take from Zuki, those little boats that we showed you pictures of, used to come down here and get to Baseline and stay in some of the bed and breakfast hotels that were along the way. And the dance hall is over here to our left, which is long gone. And what they do, these gremlins, if we don't scream as loud as we can going through this tunnel, what happens is the gremlins jump on the boat and steal your dad's beer. At this point, we're just coming out of the canal that services between Huron River and also Portage Lake. We're now entering Portage Lake, which is the largest of the chain that we're currently on. Deepest part of this lake is 85 feet, and that's located right in front of us at the Yacht Club. Also next to the Yacht Club is where the old amusement park was that had the large slides, and a lot of people came down on those ferry boats that we talked about earlier.
Much like the days of old, some things don't change. As our boat tour comes to a conclusion in southern Livingston County, what better way to end the day but with a refreshing dip at Strawberry Lake?
Now you don't know what I mean.
All right, now all right. Where's everyone from with this boat?
Yeah, we have Pickney, everybody from Pickney except she's from Norway.
Norway. Wow, you came a long ways.
I did.
You're on the chain of lakes a lot, I take it.
Yes.
And what's your favorite part about it?
The socialization. We have a lot of fun.
And how long have you lived in the Pickney area?
10 years. Yep. And we would never move. Never, ever. In fact, he drives an hour and a half to work. Because I'm like, I'm not moving. Because this is the best. Can't beat it.